What is going on, guys? Miles here, and in this video we'll be taking a look at the resistance supply drops, which a lot of people think are kind of trash, and in this video we'll be looking at why people think that. The two biggest complaints I see about these supply drops is that 1, people get a lot of duplicates from them, and 2, the items themselves people get aren't very good at all. Like, they get a lot of pistol grips, which nobody really wants to get. And so to see if that's like really true, we can sort of look at the amount of items in the resistance supply drops and compare it to the Winter Siege event. So a few things to note before we start. The first one is that, as far as I'm aware, there's no way to tell when a weapon variant was released into the game, so I can't compare the amount of weapon variants released in both of the events. And the second one is to note that the Winter Siege event was 25 days long, whereas the Resistance event is 35 days long, so you'd expect about the same amount of items in the supply drops, or even more for the Resistance event. And right off the bat, you guys will know that there was less DLC weapons added with the Resistance event compared to the Winter Siege event. We had 5 in the Winter Siege event, 2 of which were melee weapons and 3 of which were guns, and in the Resistance event we had only 1 melee weapon and 2 guns, so we have 1 less melee weapon and 1 less gun in this event, which is kind of a surprise, but also it's not too bad at the same time because we still get 2 guns, which is good enough in my opinion. If you look at the collections, you will see that there's only 5 different collections you can craft in the Resistance event, whereas there was a total of 9 in the Winter Siege event, which is quite disappointing in my opinion, because there's not really a ton you can spend your armory credits on for such a long event. So I would have liked to see maybe like some outfits or even like a helmet which you could have crafted, but we did only get 5 collections for this event, unfortunately. As for the outfits, I only tracked the brand new outfits and not the variants of outfits because they're only reskins and they probably take no time to make at all. So with the Winter Siege event there was a total of 4 new outfit styles, and with the Resistance there was a total of 3. However, there was also the introduction of Axis outfits, and there is 1 Axis outfit for each division, leading to a total of 6, so you could say there was a total of 9 new outfits in the Resistance event, which is quite a lot. And outfits are a pretty good item to get in my opinion. If I'm not going to get a weapon variant, I probably want to get either a special helmet or one of the outfit pieces. Speaking of the special helmets, in the Winter Siege there was 11 special helmets, whereas there was only 6 in the Resistance event, so just over half as many in this event, unfortunately. Now, taking a look at some of the less desirable items you can get in these supply drops, the cooling cards, there was 19 in the Winter Siege and there's only 10 in the Resistance event. As for emblems, there was a total of 50 emblems in the Winter Siege event, so if you got a lot of emblems during that event like I did, now you know why, because there was an absolute crap ton of them, but there is only 25 different emblems in the Resistance event. And finally, for pistol grips and emotes, there was the same amount of items in each event. There was 10 new emotes in both events and 20 new pistol grips in both events. So as you can tell by that list, there was obviously a lot less items in this Resistance supply drop compared to the Winter Siege supply drop, which is a pretty big surprise considering the event is 10 days longer. You'd probably expect more items because people have more time to gather Resistance supply drops and open them, so kind of shocked honestly to see such less items compared to the Winter Siege event. And obviously if there's way less items, then you're going to be more likely to get a duplicate piece as you open more supply drops, which is one of the complaints people had. So there were much fewer items in the supply drops in general, however the amount of pistol grips and emotes actually remained the same, so there is actually a higher chance of you getting a pistol grip or an emote in the item pool, and that is what a lot of people have been getting, and pistol grips are never fun to get, so I can see why people are getting quite upset about it. But moving on, the next question is, why is there such fewer items in the Resistance supply drop compared to the Winter Siege event? And I have 2 possible reasons why this might be the case. The first one is, honestly, I thought there would be a part 2 or a batch 2 to the Resistance event, which would come like halfway during the event where they would add some new items, including maybe a few DLC weapons as well. And I really thought this would be the case after we saw the leaked advert for the Revolver DLC weapon, which was on an advert for Twitch Prime, so I really thought they were going to add a batch 2 to this event. Maybe I'm just crazy and they never were going to, maybe they cancelled it, but if they were going to add it, they would have done so by now, because we just finished the 3rd week of the event and there is only 2 left, so if they were going to add it like next week, then nobody would have time to actually get any of the new items, so batch 2 is not going to be coming, unfortunately. The other possible reason why they added such few items is because maybe after the Winter Siege event, they realized that they added way too many items and that most people barely got any of the items at all, so they cut it down a lot for the Resistance event. However, they did make the event longer, so that in effect would kind of solve the problem as well, and maybe they went a little bit overkill with it. But that is just my speculation, and overall, yes, the Resistance supply drops are probably worse than the Winter Siege supply drops, and that is because of the lack of items in them compared to the Winter Siege, leading to more duplicates and more pistol grips. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and if you guys found this video useful, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Call of Duty, but I'll see you guys in my next video.